Operation Dudula, as we know, has raised many questions about how employment is handled as far as locals and immigrants and migrants are concerned here in South Africa. Now we understand government announcing this proposed quota system that's aimed, we're told, at finding some kind of balance between the hiring of migrants and South Africans. But of course, this quota system is there to protect both. So how do we do this? How do we try and find a resolution when we know how serious the unemployment rate is in South Africa? I'm joined by Sam Morotoba, the Public Employment Services Deputy Director General, or DDG, if you prefer that. Sam, good morning to you. Do you think this quota system is going to work? Can we find a balance that everyone will be happy with? Good morning.
Good morning, and good morning to ENCA listeners. This is one of the attempts that, as the Employment and Labour are introducing, given the research that we have undertaken over the years. Obviously, any law needs to be tested. Unemployment is very high. The number of foreign nationals in the country has increased tremendously, and there are quite a number of employers who are taking advantage of the access labor that is currently available, and in the process undermining standards by preferring to employ foreign nationals. So putting a cap is one of the things that we are proposing. You must recall, Gerald and ENCA listeners, that there are foreign nationals that are in the country legally, people with permanent resident status, people with special dispensation, refugees, and so on. And some people have been in employment for quite some time, and we cannot ignore that fact.
So how do you view Operation Dudula? Do you feel it has a good point in now highlighting the employment of foreign nationals, or do you feel they've gone about this the wrong way?
I think any organization in the country is allowed to protest, is allowed to voice their views. I think the Constitution allows trade unions and any community to voice their protest. However, I think whatever we do as a country, we must know that the Constitution that we are all proud of protects also the rights of migrants, protects the rights of us as citizens. Because in the process of whatever we do, let us not jeopardize or find ourselves doing something that may impact negatively on other South Africans who come from other provinces because we made a mistake assuming that they are foreign nationals. But at the same time, let us also embrace the fact that our Constitution protects the rights of every citizen, including migrants, and that there are institutions that are properly capacitated with the staff that can do whatever we believe.
Mr. Morotoba, I'll ask you as a last question. Sorry, I think I lost you for a second, your audio. Let me just jump in quickly before I say goodbye to you. Last question, Mr. Morotoba. What happens in a situation if there is a foreign national that is legal here in South Africa who is more qualified to do a job than a South African? How do we handle that before I say goodbye to you?
Now, I think that the first thing is how the foreign national came into country. That is the issue that we must look at, and the offer of a job that they got. If a foreign national is a permanent resident, a refugee, or has special papers, they are treated like any other South African for employment purposes. But if they are outside of the country, there is a process in place on how you go about looking at foreign nationals before you have to exhaust internal processes before you look at foreign nationals.
I appreciate your time in joining us this morning. Public Employment Services, DDG, it's the Deputy Director General. Always good to have Sam Morotoba joining us here on the show, Tumza. And this is going to be the ongoing debate. We're going to have this proposed quota system in, but how does the quota system work? What are the percentages? What are the ratios? How are these decisions made? It's always the devil in the detail, but we'll unpack that proposed quota system in the coming days.